Welcome back to the channel USA Coins 69, coin lovers and treasure seekers. Today we're going to talk about one of the most fascinating modern coins from the United States of America that many people have in their pocket change without realizing how important it can be. We are focusing on the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 2009. At first glance, you might think of it as just another penny, but this particular year holds something very special in American coinage history, and some of these coins are worth an incredible amount of money. By the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how a coin most people would casually spend on candy or gum could actually be a collector's dream, and you'll definitely want to start checking your pennies more carefully after this. The year 2009 marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and to celebrate, the United States Mint released a unique series of Lincoln pennies that stood out from all others. Instead of the standard design that people were used to seeing, the 2009 pennies were issued with 4 different reverse designs, each one telling a different story about the life of the 16th President of the United States. For coin collectors and history lovers alike, this was a truly exciting moment. These pennies didn't just represent small change, they were tiny history lessons, right in the palm of your hand. The first reverse design showed a log cabin, representing Lincoln's humble beginnings in Kentucky. It was called the birth and early childhood design, a reminder that one of America's greatest leaders came from very simple roots. The second design featured a young Abraham Lincoln sitting on a log reading a book, symbolizing his dedication to education and his early years of learning in Indiana. This one was known as the formative years design, showing the hard-working young man who valued knowledge even while working tough frontier jobs. The third design displayed Lincoln standing in front of the Illinois state capitol, representing his professional life and political career before becoming president. This one was titled the Professional Life Design. Finally, the fourth reverse design showed the partially constructed United States Capitol dome in Washington, D.C., symbolizing his presidency and the challenges he faced leading the nation during a time of civil war. This final design was named the Presidency Design. Each of these designs carried a piece of Lincoln's legacy, and they quickly caught the attention of collectors who realized how special the 2009 cent really was. Unlike ordinary pennies that people barely notice, the 2009 series told a full story across 4 separate coins, making it one of the most meaningful modern commemorative issues from the U.S. Mint. But beyond the historical importance, some of these coins have turned out to be incredibly valuable depending on their condition, rarity, and sometimes minting errors. Now let's talk about what makes a 2009 Lincoln cent so special to collectors. The value of any coin depends largely on 3 things: rarity, condition, and demand. For the 2009 penny, the demand is already high because it was a one-year-only series celebrating such an iconic figure in U.S. history. That means collectors want these coins, and especially want them in high grades. Coins that were pulled straight from mint rolls and preserved without ever being used in circulation have the best chance of being worth serious money. These are called uncirculated or mint state coins. When they are graded by professional grading services and receive a very high grade, close to perfect, they can bring big money at auctions. Another thing that can raise the value is whether the coin has a unique minting error. Errors are small mistakes that occur when a coin is being struck, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual die cracks. While most pennies come out exactly the same, a coin with an error becomes one of a kind, and collectors love owning something rare and different. A 2009 penny with such an error could be worth far more than the average piece. Also, don't forget that the U.S. Mint produced these 2009 pennies at different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from San Francisco with the S mint mark were proof coins, struck with special dies on polished planchets, giving them a mirror-like finish. Proof coins are always highly collectible, especially when kept in perfect condition. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produce circulation strikes, and while these were made in larger numbers, finding flawless ones is still a challenge. What makes this coin even more appealing is that people often overlook it. Because it's from 2009, many assume it's just another modern penny not worth holding on to. But collectors know that certain versions, especially in pristine condition, can fetch incredible amounts of money. It's the perfect example of why you should always pay attention to the small change you get back at the store. sometimes the real treasure is right there in your hand. So, how much could a 2009 Lincoln penny really be worth? While most of these coins in average condition are worth just face value, the rarest and best preserved examples have shocked collectors with their auction results. In fact, some of these coins have sold for an absolutely jaw-dropping $77,500. That's right, $77,500 for a penny that many people would overlook or even lose under their couch cushions. It's incredible to think that such a small coin could carry such an enormous value, but that's the magic of coin collecting. So next time you get change, don't be too quick to spend those pennies. Take a closer look, especially at the 2009 Lincoln series, because you never know when you might be holding onto a tiny piece of history worth a fortune. And remember, condition is everything. If you find a shiny, uncirculated penny from 2009, set it aside, because it could be the key to something big. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of American history that may be sitting unnoticed in your coin jars or pocket change. We're talking about the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 1971. While most pennies seem ordinary, this particular coin carries a story, a history, and for collectors, an incredible potential value. By the end of this video, you'll see why the 1971 Lincoln penny is so sought after, and you'll be amazed at how much one of these coins can be worth when found in the right condition. The 1971 Lincoln penny comes from a period of change and innovation in the United States. The country was navigating through a complex era marked by social movements, economic adjustments, and historical milestones. During this time, the Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for decades, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1971, the design had become iconic, recognized by every American, yet this particular year holds a unique place for collectors. What makes the 1971 Lincoln penny especially interesting is not just its age, but also the minting circumstances. Coins produced in 1971 were struck in massive quantities, yet over the years, many have become worn from circulation. The harsh reality is that pennies get handled constantly, dropped, scratched, and rubbed, and most lose their original luster. That's why finding a 1971 Lincoln penny in uncirculated, pristine condition is an exceptional rarity. Coins that remain untouched by everyday handling are highly prized because they preserve every intricate detail of the original design, from the fine lines on Lincoln's face to the lettering on the reverse. Speaking of design, the 1971 Lincoln penny retained the classic motifs familiar to collectors. On the obverse, we see Abraham Lincoln's profile, a symbol of honesty, leadership, and unity. His gaze, engraved with careful precision, represents the enduring respect Americans hold for their 16th president. Every small feature, from the contours of his hair to the sharpness of his suit, matters greatly to collectors. On the reverse, the iconic Lincoln Memorial graces the coin, replacing the original wheat ears design that was used from 1909 to 1958. The Lincoln Memorial not only honors Lincoln's legacy but also showcases one of the most important monuments in Washington, D.C., symbolizing freedom, democracy, and the enduring strength of the American people. Collectors are particularly attentive to 1971 pennies because of certain subtle variations and minting details that can greatly affect a coin's value. For instance, the mint marks, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mark for Philadelphia, can make a big difference. Coins from certain mints, especially those produced in lower quantities or in perfect condition, tend to command higher prices. And then there are minting errors, which are a collector's dream. Minor flaws during the striking process, like double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks, transform a common penny into a one-of-a-kind treasure. These errors are rare, highly sought after, and can push a coin's value far beyond its face value. Now, let's talk about the condition. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale, and a 1971 Lincoln penny that remains in mint state condition with no scratches, no discoloration, and no signs of wear can be worth dramatically more than a worn example. Professional grading services carefully evaluate each coin, assigning scores that can make or break its market value. Collectors pay premiums for coins with the highest grades because they represent perfection in small, tangible form, a true snapshot of history preserved over decades. It's also important to remember that while millions of 1971 Lincoln pennies were minted, very few have survived in the kind of pristine condition that appeals to collectors today. That rarity, combined with historical significance and collector demand, makes the 1971 Lincoln penny a coin that could transform a casual collection into a valuable investment. So, how much can a 1971 Lincoln penny really be worth if you're lucky enough to find one in perfect condition or with a rare error? While most pennies from that year are still worth only a few cents, a top-grade example, well-preserved, flawless, and highly collectible, can fetch an astonishing $53,500. Yes, you heard that correctly, $53,500 for a single 1971 Lincoln penny. It's incredible to think that a coin many people take for granted could carry such a tremendous value. This is the magic and excitement of coin collecting: history, art, and the potential for fortune all combined into a tiny piece of metal you can hold in your hand. So, next time you dig through your old change, don't overlook those pennies. Take a careful look at any 1971 Lincoln pennies you may have tucked away. Examine their condition, check the mint marks, and be on the lookout for any unusual variations or errors. You might be holding a piece of history that could be worth a small fortune. Today, we're diving into the world of American coins to uncover a gem that might be hiding in your coin jars, drawers, or even tucked away in old collections: the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1975. At first glance, it might look like just another penny you've seen countless times, but there's a fascinating story behind this coin, and in the right condition, it can be worth an astonishing amount of money. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the 1975 Lincoln penny is a must-watch coin for collectors, and you might even be inspired to start checking your change more carefully. The 1975 Lincoln penny comes from a period in American history that was dynamic and full of change. The United States was navigating the aftermath of the Vietnam War, dealing with economic adjustments, and experiencing cultural shifts that would shape the nation for decades to come. During this time, the Lincoln penny had already been a familiar symbol in everyday life for decades. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this small coin had become an iconic piece of American culture. By 1975, it had evolved into something more than currency. It was a symbol of history, heritage, and the enduring legacy of one of America's greatest presidents. What makes the 1975 Lincoln penny particularly interesting is that, while millions were minted for everyday use, only a small fraction have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Pennies are handled constantly, passed from hand to hand, used in vending machines, and jostled in pockets, which makes coins that are still in mint condition increasingly rare. Collectors prize coins that retain their original luster, with crisp details and no signs of wear, because these coins are not just money, they are historical artifacts, snapshots of American history preserved in metal. Let's take a closer look at the design. On the obverse side of the 1975 Lincoln penny, you'll find the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln. Every line of his face, every detail of his suit, and the engraving of his hair matters to collectors. Lincoln's image symbolizes honesty, leadership, and the unity of the American people during one of the nation's most challenging eras. On the reverse side, the coin features the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to replace the wheat ears design that had been used for decades. The Lincoln Memorial not only honors the legacy of Lincoln but also serves as a reminder of the values he stood for: freedom, equality, and perseverance. The sharpness and clarity of this reverse design play a significant role in determining the coin's value for collectors. Collectors also pay close attention to mint marks. The 1975 Lincoln penny was produced at multiple U.S. mint locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from each mint carry unique characteristics and are often sought after differently by collectors. Proof coins, especially those produced in San Francisco, are struck on specially polished planchets with extra care, giving them a mirror-like finish that makes them highly collectible. Coins from Philadelphia and Denver were struck for circulation, but finding uncirculated examples from these mints is becoming increasingly difficult, which adds to their allure. Minting errors can also elevate a coin's value. Occasionally, during the striking process, coins can develop anomalies such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks. These errors are rare, making the coins one-of-a-kind and highly desirable to collectors. A 1975 Lincoln penny with such an error is not just a coin, it's a rare collectible piece that can command serious attention and significant prices in the market. Condition plays a massive role in value. Coins are professionally graded on a scale from poor to mint state perfection. A 1975 Lincoln penny that has never been circulated, retains its original luster, and shows no signs of wear can be incredibly valuable. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins in flawless condition because they represent the finest examples of history, preserved exactly as the mint intended. Even subtle imperfections can dramatically affect a coin's value, so every detail matters. It's also important to recognize that while millions of 1975 Lincoln pennies were minted, very few have survived in the condition that serious collectors desire. That scarcity, combined with the historical significance of the coin and the ever-growing collector demand, makes the 1975 Lincoln penny a potential treasure for anyone lucky enough to find one in pristine condition. Now, let's talk about the value. While the average 1975 penny in circulated condition is worth just a few cents, coins that are perfectly preserved or possess rare errors are a different story entirely. In fact, some of these highly sought-after pennies have sold for an astounding $50,600. Yes, you heard that correctly, $50,600 for a single 1975 Lincoln penny. It's incredible to imagine that a coin you might dismiss as ordinary could hold such immense value. This is the magic of coin collecting. A tiny piece of metal, often overlooked, can become a piece of history and a significant financial asset all at once. So, the next time you handle pennies, take a closer look. Examine the details, check the mint marks, and consider the condition. You never know, you might be holding a coin that could turn a casual collection into an extraordinary treasure. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and often overlooked coins in American numismatics, the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 1977. At first glance, it might look like just another penny, something you pass along in your daily transactions without giving it a second thought. But this coin holds an incredible story, and in the right condition, it can be worth a small fortune. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the 1977 Lincoln penny is so coveted by collectors, and you'll be inspired to take a closer look at the pennies you might already have sitting in jars, drawers, or old collections. The 1977 Lincoln penny was minted during a period of significant social, cultural, and economic change in the United States. The country was navigating a post-Vietnam War era, adjusting to economic fluctuations, and witnessing transformations that shaped modern America. Amidst all these shifts, the Lincoln penny remained a familiar and enduring symbol, representing not only currency but also a tangible piece of American history. The penny had already been in circulation for decades, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. By 1977, the Lincoln penny had become one of the most recognized coins in the United States, a coin that most Americans handle every day without considering its historical significance. What makes the 1977 Lincoln penny so special for collectors is a combination of rarity, condition, and the subtle characteristics that distinguish certain coins from the rest. Although millions of pennies were minted that year, most have been circulated extensively. Pennies endure constant handling, sliding through pockets, wallets, vending machines, and cash registers, resulting in scratches, discoloration, and wear. That's why a 1977 Lincoln penny in pristine, uncirculated condition is incredibly rare and highly sought after. Collectors prize coins that preserve the original details of the mint, from the sharpness of Lincoln's profile to the crisp lettering on the reverse side. Let's examine the design in detail. On the obverse, the coin features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, engraved with remarkable precision. Lincoln's image symbolizes integrity, leadership, and perseverance, and every line and contour of his face carries historical significance. For collectors, even the finest details, like the subtle engraving of his hair, the sharpness of his jawline, and the clarity of his coat, matter tremendously in determining the coin's value. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial dominates the design, replacing the original wheat ears motif used prior to 1959. The Lincoln Memorial is a symbol of unity, democracy, and freedom, and the attention to detail on this design, down to the steps and columns of the monument, is a key factor in its collectible appeal. The minting location also plays a crucial role in the value of a 1977 Lincoln penny. Coins were produced at several U.S. mint locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while Denver coins are marked with a D, and San Francisco coins, often produced as proof coins, feature an S. Proof coins are struck on specially polished planchets with extra care, producing a mirror-like finish that collectors prize highly. Even for circulation strikes from Philadelphia or Denver, finding an uncirculated example that retains its original luster is increasingly rare, which significantly enhances its value. Minting errors can further elevate the desirability and value of a coin. Occasionally, coins may be struck with anomalies such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks. These errors are highly sought after because they create one-of-a-kind pieces, and collectors often compete fiercely to add them to their collections. A 1977 Lincoln penny with a rare minting error becomes far more than just a coin. It transforms into a unique collectible that stands out from the millions of ordinary pennies minted that year. Condition is everything in coin collecting. Coins are professionally graded on a scale that ranges from poor condition to mint state perfection. A 1977 Lincoln penny that has never been circulated, maintains its original shine, and shows no signs of wear or handling can be exceptionally valuable. Professional grading services meticulously evaluate coins, and those with the highest grades often fetch substantial sums at auctions. Even minor imperfections can impact a coin's market value, so coins that are flawless in every aspect are highly prized by collectors. Despite the millions of 1977 Lincoln pennies minted, very few have survived in the type of condition that serious collectors are looking for today. That scarcity, combined with the historical significance of Abraham Lincoln, the artistry of the coin's design, and growing demand in the collector market, makes the 1977 Lincoln penny an exciting find for anyone who happens to discover one in excellent condition. Now, let's discuss the coin's value. While most circulated 1977 pennies are worth just a few cents, coins that are uncirculated, exceptionally well preserved, or feature a rare minting error are in a completely different league. In fact, some of these coins have sold for an astounding $47,300. Yes, you heard that correctly, $47,300 for a single 1977 Lincoln penny. It's truly remarkable to think that something as small and commonplace as a penny can hold such incredible value. This is the magic of coin collecting. A tiny piece of metal that people often overlook can transform into a treasure of historical significance and financial worth. So, next time you handle pennies, don't simply pass them along. Examine the details, check for mint marks, look for unusual features or errors, and pay close attention to their condition. Even the most ordinary-looking penny could hold extraordinary value. The 1977 Lincoln penny reminds us that history and treasure are sometimes hidden in plain sight, waiting for those who take the time to look closely. Today, we're exploring one of the most intriguing coins in American numismatics, the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 1978. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another penny, something you pass along in daily transactions without a second thought. But for collectors and history enthusiasts, the 1978 Lincoln penny is much more than simple change. It's a small, fascinating piece of American history that has the potential to be incredibly valuable. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the 1978 Lincoln penny is highly sought after and why even one of these coins, if preserved perfectly, can be worth an extraordinary amount of money. The 1978 Lincoln penny was minted during a dynamic period in the United States. The country was navigating economic shifts, adjusting to post-Vietnam realities, and witnessing social and cultural changes that shaped modern America. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, had already become an iconic piece of American currency by this time. Over the decades, it evolved from just money into a symbol of history, legacy, and national pride. The 1978 issue, while part of a long-running series, stands out to collectors due to its condition, minting variations, and the story it tells about the era in which it was made. One of the most important factors that make the 1978 Lincoln penny special is rarity and high-grade condition. While millions of pennies were produced for circulation, the vast majority have been handled extensively over the years. Pennies endure constant wear, they are jostled in pockets, wallets, and cash registers, rubbed against other coins, and often lost or damaged. Finding a 1978 Lincoln penny that has survived in pristine, uncirculated condition is becoming increasingly rare, and that rarity is what makes it so valuable. Coins that retain their original luster, sharp details, and flawless surfaces are highly prized by collectors because they offer a direct connection to the minting moment over 4 decades ago. Let's look at the design of this fascinating coin. On the obverse, the 1978 Lincoln penny features Abraham Lincoln's well-known profile, a design that symbolizes honesty, integrity, and leadership. Every fine line in Lincoln's face, every detail in his hair, and even the engraving of his coat plays a role in its collectible appeal. Collectors pay close attention to these details because even the smallest imperfection can affect a coin's value. On the reverse side, the iconic Lincoln Memorial takes center stage, a design introduced in 1959 to replace the earlier wheat ears reverse. The Lincoln Memorial is a symbol of freedom, democracy, and the enduring principles Lincoln stood for. The intricacy of this design, the steps, columns, and fine engraving, adds to the coin's appeal, especially for collectors who value precision and historical detail. Mint marks also play a crucial role in determining the value of a 1978 Lincoln penny. Coins were produced at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, Denver coins bear a D, and San Francisco coins, often produced as proof coins, have an S. Proof coins are struck on polished planchets with specially prepared dies, giving them a mirror-like finish that collectors highly value. Even standard circulation coins from Philadelphia and Denver, when found in mint state condition, are increasingly rare and can command premium prices due to their preserved quality. Another factor that can greatly increase the value of a 1978 Lincoln penny is the presence of minting errors. Occasionally, coins are struck with anomalies such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks. These errors are rare and make each coin unique, attracting significant attention from collectors. A 1978 Lincoln penny with a minting error transforms a seemingly ordinary coin into a collectible masterpiece, setting it apart from the millions of regular coins minted that year. Condition remains the most critical element in determining a coin's worth. Coins are professionally graded on a scale ranging from poor to perfect mint state. A 1978 Lincoln penny that has never been circulated, retains its original luster, and is free from any wear or scratches is a treasure for collectors. Professional grading ensures that such coins are accurately evaluated, and those with the highest grades often fetch astonishing sums at auctions. Even small imperfections, like minor scratches or discoloration, can reduce a coin's market value dramatically, which is why coins in pristine condition are so rare and highly sought after. Despite millions of 1978 Lincoln pennies being minted, very few have survived in the flawless condition that serious collectors desire today. That scarcity, combined with historical significance, collector demand, and the aesthetic beauty of the design, makes the 1978 Lincoln penny a coin worth paying attention to. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual observer, understanding the potential of coins like this can transform how you view the pennies you handle every day. Now, let's talk about value. While most 1978 pennies are worth just their face value in circulation, a high-grade uncirculated penny, or one with a rare minting error, can fetch an incredible $40,200. Yes, that's right, $40,200 for a single 1978 Lincoln penny. It's amazing to think that something as small as a penny, often overlooked and taken for granted, can hold such extraordinary value. This is the beauty and excitement of coin collecting: history, artistry, and financial potential all combined in a tiny piece of metal that fits in the palm of your hand. So next time you handle pennies, don't rush past them. Examine the details carefully, check for mint marks, inspect for unusual characteristics or minting errors, and consider the coin's condition. The 1978 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how even the most ordinary-looking coins can turn out to be treasures if preserved and recognized correctly. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the story, design, and incredible value of the 1978 Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed learning about this coin and want to discover more hidden treasures in everyday change, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins. Keep collecting, keep exploring, and remember, the next coin you pick up could be worth a fortune.